Okay, we're talking prostaglandins. Love, love, love prostaglandins. You don't hear a lot about them on this program. You've been hearing about them for the last month probably. They play an especially important role in all inflammatory health issues. They play an especially important role in mucus, the formation of the mucus lining, mucosal defense. Mucus is a defensive chemical, defensive substance. It's one of the ways the body slimes the enemy out. You see commercials on TV where the mucus is the bad guy. Mucus is not the bad guy. Mucus is the good guy. You don't want to stop mucus secretion because mucus is part of the immune system. It's one of the ways the body protects itself, and prostaglandins play an especially important role in mucosal defense. The mucus-secreting cells depend on prostaglandins. The cells that make mucus are exquisitely sensitive to the effects of prostaglandins. This is one of the reasons why Motrin and aspirin and these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory type drugs are so toxic to the digestive system. These drugs block prostaglandins, and by blocking prostaglandins, they block the production of mucus that lines the stomach, and the stomach protects the stomach from acid. That's why the stomach doesn't digest itself. The stomach is secreting some really strong acid, but it's protected by a layer of mucus. Well, if you take aspirin every day, regularly, if you take Motrin regularly, that mucus lining doesn't get produced, and the stomach becomes much more susceptible to the effects of digestive acids. The stomach digests itself, essentially, and that's what an ulcer is. If you're on these types of drugs, if you're on Motrin, if your doctor told you to take a baby aspirin every day, if you're taking aspirin on a regular basis, you want to make absolutely certain you are using generous amounts of your ultimate EFAs. Essential fatty acids equal prostaglandins, or at least the prostaglandin chassis upon which the various prostaglandins are built. But in essence, essential fatty acids equal prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are the key controlling chemical when it comes to all inflammation and all immunity. So in essence, the ultimate EFAs, which you can call the ultimate prostaglandins, the ultimate PGs, if you will, the ultimate EFAs or the ultimate prostaglandins are your ultimate anti-inflammatory and immune system strengthening supplement. The essential fatty acids are your ultimate essential fatty acids are your ultimate prostaglandins, and that makes them super important for modulating or controlling inflammation and strengthening and beefing up the immune system. Yes, you need other things. You need cofactors, and you need to make sure you're absorbing your essential fatty acids. You need to make sure your liver and pancreas and gallbladder are all doing their jobs, you've got to make sure you're using your probiotics as well. You've got to make sure that you got enough digestive enzymes, using apple cider vinegar, etc. All that's important, but their role is secondary to the building of prostaglandins. The primary substance that you need to make sure you're getting enough prostaglandins is your essential fatty acids, your ultimate essential fatty acids. And essential is the key word. Remember, prostaglandin deficiency is not uncommon. A lot of people are dealing with prostaglandin deficiencies, and a lot of immune disorders, autoimmunity, inflammatory disorders have a prostaglandin deficiency component. And while it's certainly important to use cofactors to help make prostaglandins, nothing is more important than the essential, meaning your body can't make the stuff, essential fatty acids, your ultimate essential fatty acids. Prostaglandins are responsive to the effects of stress hormones, especially cortisol and estrogen. And this is most especially evident when it comes to the inflammatory process. Prostaglandins represent the link between stress and inflammation and stress and inflammatory health issues, especially in the female reproductive system. This is how I first discovered about the importance of essential fatty acids, or prostaglandins. Remember, they're almost exactly the same thing. I started giving my female patients essential fatty acids for their dry skin, and that's another place where essential fatty acids shine as a nutritional supplement for dry skin. But then I noticed that their menstrual cramps were disappearing. Their PMS symptoms were going away. Prostaglandins are the link, and essential fatty acids equal prostaglandins. Keep in mind, many diseases are associated with prostaglandin deficiency, and it could very well be because we're not getting enough essential fatty acids. And it could very well be because we got lots of stress hormones. Stress hormones throw off the inflammatory process by affecting prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are involved in maintaining the appropriate female hormone levels, estrogen levels. Estrogen levels rise and fall in response to prostaglandins. And remember, deficiencies are common here. So, likewise, PMS symptoms are going to be common as well. Cramping symptoms are going to be common. Menstrual cramping symptoms are going to be common as well. So many women feel like menstrual cramps and PMS are just part and parcel of the menstrual cycle. They're not. PMS, premenstrual syndrome, and menstrual cramps, those are not part and parcel of the female reproductive cycle. They're not supposed to happen. They're a sign that something's missing, typically essential fatty acids. If you're under any inflammatory health challenges, PMS, cramping, skin issues, psoriasis, eczema, using the ultimate essential fatty acids via this prostaglandin connection can be life-changing. Prostaglandins are produced in the outside part of a cell, the so-called cell membrane, this remarkable tiny little sliver of lipid or fat. The cell, as remarkable as it is coated with a little layer of fat that we call it the cell membrane, and damage to that cell membrane from drugs and from alcohol can really throw off prostaglandin production and balance. Prostaglandins are, in essence, made from this cell membrane. The cell membrane, in addition to being an element of intelligence for a cell, is also a storage depot for prostaglandins. When the body needs prostaglandins, it will break them out of the cell membrane, and then the prostaglandin will be released. If the cell membrane is damaged, that's not going to happen. Alcohol can damage the cell membrane. Drugs can damage the cell membrane. Toxins from food can damage the cell membrane. A hangover, by the way, in many ways is a sign of a damaged cell membrane. Hang tight, I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I am Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back after this. So prostaglandins are produced in the outside part of a cell. That part of a cell is damaged by drugs, prescription drugs. Alcohol can damage the cell, and that can throw off prostaglandin production. In fact, a lot of the effects of a hangover are really the effects of damaged cell membranes. Some of the effects anyway, not a lot of the effects, but some of the effects. Vitamin E is especially protective of a cell membrane. In fact, that's vitamin E's main role in the body, to protect fats and fatty membranes. Not just cell membranes. Anywhere where there's a membrane, inside a cell there's membranes, and on the outside of a cell there's membranes, and vitamin E protects these membranes. And vitamin E protects all fats. Actually, it protects essential fatty acids. If you're taking your ultimate EFAs, make sure you're taking some vitamin E with it. If you're eating a lot of fatty foods, make sure you're taking vitamin E. Make sure you're taking vitamin E anyway. 400 IU a day is a great place to be. Vitamin E is well known as a brain and nervous system vitamin. If you're dealing with Parkinson's disease or other movement disorders, Bell's palsy or any kind of palsy issues, ataxia issues, movement disorders of some kind, vitamin E can be very helpful. Alzheimer's disease, other dementias, vitamin E can be helpful. MS, myasthenia gravis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, all of these involve the fatty membranes of nerve cells, and you'd be wise to be using 400 IU daily dose of vitamin E if you're dealing with any of these kinds of issues. NAC, N-acetylcysteine. NAC is another supplement that can protect cell membranes. So can turmeric. Super powerful. Turmeric is in the Cell Shield product. Turmeric's amazing stuff. So is NAC for that matter. So is vitamin E for that matter. Using 500 milligrams of NAC in addition to 400 IU of vitamin E and turmeric, using them before you go out at night, or using them for a couple of days before you're planning on going out and drinking alcohol, maybe coming home and doing some more NAC, can be very helpful when it comes to reducing the severity of a hangover, even preventing a hangover entirely. You can probably get the same kind of protective benefits if you're drinking a lot of coffee, if you're using caffeine, drinking a lot of soda pop, or if you're using prescription drugs, especially if you're using prescription drugs. If you're on multiple prescription drugs, you guys, you are crazy not to be using a nutritional supplement program. If you're taking more than one prescription drug on a regular basis, it is absolutely foolhardy not to be on a nutritional supplement program that features vitamin E and N-acetylcysteine. Not to mention the B complex and vitamin C, which are all protective against the toxic effects of prescription drugs, and that can help you clear out prescription drugs out of your body. This is one of the major roles of nutritional supplementation, to protect the body from toxins, and nothing is more toxic than a prescription drug. Nothing. You'd have to go out of your way to swallow mercury or lead in order to get the same kind of toxicity that you get with a prescription drug. Yes, I know you're only using milligram amounts or microgram amounts sometimes of prescription drugs, but nonetheless, gram for gram, the toxicity of a prescription drug approaches the toxicity of any poison you can name. EFAs, essential fatty acids, are also very important for helping protect the body from toxicity via this prostaglandin effect. Remember, EFAs are the chassis upon which prostaglandins are built. When we supplement with the essential fatty acids, we're giving our bodies the raw material upon which chemistry can be overlaid to form prostaglandins. You also need to have cofactors, and there's quite a few of them. There's actually 3 main ones. We'll talk about these here in a second. But nonetheless, EFA's role as a chassis for prostaglandins makes them stupendously valuable when it comes to autoimmune diseases, skin issues, all inflammatory health issues, including female reproductive health issues, PMS, etc., for arthritis, for dementias. Must-have nature of essential fatty acids is distinct from other nutrients because they function as a building block. Other nutrients like vitamins and minerals function as cofactors, but essential fatty acids are actually a building block, a raw material for making prostaglandins, and that makes them really, really important. Unfortunately, EFAs are not found in great abundance in nature, especially when we process nature, especially in processed foods. That's because essential fatty acids are really fragile, so it's pretty unlikely that you're going to get your EFAs from foods. You got to eat a lot of wheat germ oil, you got to eat a lot of grains, you got to eat a lot of fish to make sure you're getting your EFAs, and that's pretty much not going to happen. That's why it's so important that you supplement with your ultimate EFAs. 2 major indicators that you're EFA deficient are dry skin and cravings for fatty foods. Another major sign of EFA deficiency is inflammatory issues, especially PMS and menstrual cramping. In any case, once you have enough essential fatty acids, then you got to make sure that you have the nutrients that are required for turning those essential fatty acids into prostaglandins. And there's several that are important, but none is more important than zinc. And we spent a lot of time a couple weeks ago talking about zinc. We didn't mention that zinc is extremely important for prostaglandin production. Remember, prostaglandin deficiencies are real. So in addition to taking your EFAs to form the raw materials that function as the raw materials for prostaglandins, it's important that you're getting 50 milligrams of zinc a day. Zinc picolinate is the best place to be, or is the best zinc to take, and 50 milligrams of zinc is the best place to be. Always want to balance your zinc out with copper as well. In addition to zinc, there's another important nutrient that plays a role in the production of prostaglandins, and that's vitamin C. You can add prostaglandin production to vitamin C's many, many roles in the body. Man, it would be tough to come up with a more multifunctional and more important nutrient than vitamin C. It's just, in the world of health and in the world of essential nutrients, there's really no way to express how important vitamin C is to human health. We can say it's essential, but there's other essential nutrients. There's 89 other essential nutrients, and that marginalizes or diminishes the importance of vitamin C to merely call it an essential nutrient. We could say that it's involved in numerous biological functions, most especially those that involve defense and building and making other chemicals. But there's other nutrients that are involved in building things, vitamin A, magnesium, and zinc. Probably the best way to paint a picture of the importance of vitamin C, how important it is to biological functioning, is to understand that vitamin C is only a vitamin to a few animals. Of the thousands, maybe millions of species of animals there are on planet Earth, there's only 4 that don't make vitamin C. All other animals make their own vitamin C. Okay, we are back on the bright side, having a little phone issues here. I guess we got a new phone number starting tomorrow, or starting today, actually, 877-300-7645. 877-300-7645 is our new call-in number. Some of you guys are trying to call on the old line, and you're getting a recording, so if you've been trying to reach us, it's 877-300-7645, and we do have all our lines open because of this new phone number. So I'm just going to continue talking about vitamin C, and now you got a rare chance to get on board if you haven't been able to get through. We got totally open lines for you at 877-300-7645, and I'm just going to continue talking about vitamin C, which I absolutely love. Vitamin C and zinc work together via this prostaglandin connection. It's hard to say how important vitamin C is. You know, I could tell you it's essential, but that doesn't really say it, because there's lots of things that are essential. There's 89 other nutrients that are essential. I could tell you it's involved in building things, but there's a lot of elements, a lot of nutrients that are involved in building things. I could tell you it's protective, but there's lots of nutrients that are protective. But the most striking way that I can tell you, or I can express how important vitamin C is to tell you that all animals make this stuff because it's so fundamental. There's only 4 animals that have lost the ability to make vitamin C. You've got primates, monkeys and gorillas. You've got humans, that's us. And you got the fruit bat, presumably because it eats fruit, which contains vitamin C. And then a couple of rodents, guinea pigs, don't make vitamin C, and I think some hamster species don't make vitamin C. So of the 8 million or whatever, probably about 8 million different species on the planet, only 4 don't make their own vitamin C. And that's all you need to know about how important this stuff is. It's a fundamental biological molecule for all animals. So fundamental they make it, but for some reason there's 4 animals that don't, and that includes us. And that's why you got to make sure that you're supplementing with vitamin C. There's a lot of misinformation out on the internet and on radio programs, on alternative practitioners, unfortunately, who should know better, talking about vitamin C and the difference between vitamin C and ascorbic acid. Some people are saying vitamin C is not ascorbic acid, or ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. So that brings up a question, and it brings up a topic that we've addressed before. I'm going to address it again. Is ascorbic acid vitamin C? And that's a very interesting question. And it really cuts to the heart of what exactly a vitamin is. We use the word vitamin a lot, and we misuse the word vitamin a lot. People throw the word vitamin around glibly and sometimes ignorantly. They'll say, do you take vitamins? Or I don't take vitamins, or I don't believe in vitamins, as if the word vitamin is some kind of generic catch-all umbrella phrase that refers to all nutritional supplements. Well, let's be clear here. Let's be literal. A vitamin is defined specifically as a chemical that's, number 1, found in foods, and number 2, that is a must-have in terms of getting it in your diet or getting it in your food. It's found in foods, and it is essential. That means it's a must-have, like air. Essential is like you have to have it. When we talk about the mighty 90 essential nutrients, we're talking about something that's as necessary as air, as necessary as water. Water is an essential nutrient. Air is an essential compound. And vitamins have that same kind of must-have essentiality, that same kind of must-have essential nature. But it's this first part, the found in food part, that presents a little bit of a difficulty, a little bit of a problem. Is ascorbic acid found in food? Well, yes and no. Ascorbic acid is clearly found in food, but like all food elements, it's linked. It's connected to everything else in the food. So in this way, it's true that ascorbic acid is technically not the same as the entire food vitamin complex. When we take ascorbic acid as vitamin C, obviously we're not getting the stuff that's attached, the cofactors that are attached to the vitamin C in the foods. And that's why whole foods are always the best way to get your nutrients, theoretically. Theoretically, you always want to make sure you're eating whole foods to get your nutrients. The problem with whole foods is we really have no way of knowing what's in our whole foods. Between soil depletion and genetic modification and pesticides and processing, even cooking and cutting, we really don't have a clue to how much nutrition is left in our foods. And that includes whole foods, and that includes vegetables, and that includes fruits, and that includes the so-called natural foods that we should all be eating. We just don't know what's in those foods. Numerous studies show that vegetables and produce have fractions of the nutrients they had even a generation ago. Not to mention over the last 50 years or 100 years or 200 years. But that doesn't mean that ascorbic acid does not provide you with vitamin benefits. Yes, whole foods are always going to be better. Yes, whole food vitamin C or whole food ascorbic acid has things attached to it that make it easier for the body to use that vitamin C, but that does not devalue the importance of ascorbic acid. That doesn't mean that ascorbic acid doesn't provide you with vitamin benefits. It does. Absolutely. And all you got to do is a little bit of due diligence on scholar.google.com and just look up ascorbic acid. The elements in the food complex, known as vitamin C, may improve the utilization of the ascorbic acid as far as your digestive system goes, as far as absorption into the blood goes, as far as absorption into cells perhaps goes. But once a cell gets that ascorbic acid, it doesn't have any food with it. Once that cell takes in the ascorbic acid, there's no more food factors left. If you're using a food-based vitamin, if some chiropractor on the radio told you that you need a food-based vitamin C, you should tell him, or you should know, or he should know, that once that cell takes in the ascorbic acid, it doesn't know where that ascorbic acid came from. It could care less where that ascorbic acid came from. All it knows is ascorbic acid. Yes, it's true that all those other things that are in foods that are attached to the vitamin C are good and they're important, but it is the ascorbic acid that is doing the work. It is the ascorbic acid that's doing the heavy lifting. Yes, you need cofactors. Yes, you need bioflavonoids. Yes, it's nice to have a whole food supplement or a whole food vitamin. Yes, that's good. But at the end of the day, from a practical perspective, to fight viruses, to fight cancer, to fight bacteria, to provide immune system support, to prevent oxidation, rusting, to build collagen, to produce prostaglandins, to produce serotonin, and all the other many, many things that vitamin C does in the body, it is the ascorbic acid that is doing the work. Or actually, it's the ascorbate that's doing the work, not the acid part. And anyone who tells you anything different needs to go back to Biochemistry 101 and understand how cells work and how the body works. It's just not fair, people. It's not fair for any healthcare practitioner to be spreading misinformation around a subject that is already filled with misinformation, i.e. nutrition, by telling anybody that ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. Or at least that ascorbic acid doesn't have the same effects, the vitamin effects of vitamin C. Remember, animals are making their own vitamin C, and when they're under stress, they make more because vitamin C is a stress vitamin. The vitamin C that a farm animal, that a cow or a goat will make, can be measured in grams, not milligrams, grams, and more when they're under duress. Clearly, the vitamin C is benefiting the animal, and there's no bioflavonoids. When the animal makes its vitamin C, it's not a whole food vitamin C, it's ascorbic acid that it's making, period. And all the other components that are in the food-based vitamin C, they're not being made by the animal. They're in the plants maybe, but they're not being made by the animal. So when we say an animal makes its own vitamin C, we mean it makes its own ascorbate, or ascorbic acid. Not that it makes its own bioflavonoids and food-based vitamin C. You guys get this. This is so important. That proves to it. That's all you need to know. If an animal makes its own vitamin C, when we say an animal makes its own vitamin C, we mean an animal makes its own ascorbic acid, not food-based vitamin C. Not that food-based vitamin C is not better. Of course it is. Whole foods are always the way to go. Just that we don't know what's in our whole foods. Supplement program, a good nutritional supplement program, is a good insurance policy. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Got our phones back up, and now I got a full board, so apologize for that. We'll continue talking about vitamin C tomorrow. I think this is such an interesting subject. Vitamin C and its nature as an essential nutrient, ascorbic acid. Just to be clear, and I'll probably talk a little bit about this tomorrow also. Just to be clear, the body and the cells of the body use ascorbic acid, not food-based vitamin C. Not to say food-based is not better, it is. It's definitely better. But at the end of the day, at the point of use by the body, it's ascorbic acid that gets used, not food-based vitamin C. All right, we're going to hit the phones, 877-300-7645. That's our new phone number, by the way, 877-300-7645. Take note of that if you have questions. Actually, we got a full board today, so and we only have a few more minutes. So we'll get our calls in today, and then if you want to talk to us tomorrow, 877-300-7645. Gratsiano in San Diego. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ben. Long time no speak.
How's it going, my man?
Good. I just had quick questions. I'm at work, and then I'll just listen to your show later. So 3 quick questions. Number 1, re-explaining T-zone acne.
Okay.
Number 2, where can I find your YouTube videos where you do explain all your 7 types of acne?
Okay.
And number 3, how do I explain to someone about natural flavors in the BTT? And that's it.
Okay,
all right.
Good. Okay, I'll answer these questions. Thanks for calling, Graziano. T-zone acne. The T-zone is a little T that forms in the middle of your face. There's more sebaceous oil glands in that center area. So T-zone acne is, I call it androgenic, meaning male hormone acne. And also it relates to the adrenal glands, the stress glands. The more stress you're under, the more oil you're going to be secreting, and sugar is stress, and cortisol, the hormone cortisol stress, psychological stresses, digestive stresses, those can all exacerbate T-zone acne, oily acne. Also, T-zone acne tends to be pimply rather than rashy. Videos, we're doing, actually we're going to post one today. Send an email if you're interested in being on the email list, and you'll be notified when we post a video on our 7 types of acne or various skin subjects that I do with Amanda Rideout. Send me an email, ben@ksco.com, and just let me know you want to be put on the list, and we'll send you out a note every time we post. And then natural flavors in BTT, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Graziano. They come from fruits and vegetables, and they have a certain kind of, they have flavors. And vitamins taste crappy. Nobody would like the taste of vitamins and minerals either, for that matter. So you got to put a little flavor in there and a little bit of fructose for that matter. But it doesn't really, there's really no downside to the natural flavors for most people. Now, if you have allergies or some kind of sensitivities, you might have an issue. But for most people, that's not a problem. I hope I answered your questions, Gratsiano. If not, call back tomorrow, 877-300-7645. Okay, Melody in California, what's up? Welcome to the bright side.
Hi, Ben. Thank you so much for taking my call. Quick question. My daughter she has difficulty breathing at night, like after a hot shower. Anytime her body gets hot, it's not so much just exercise-induced.
That's that's stress-induced. Exercise-induced can be thought of as stress-induced heat. And, anytime the body has to adjust itself, if the body is weakened in some way, then you can induce some kind of if the body's weak, when the body adjusts, that puts a load on the body, and you can induce a symptom of some kind. But that tells me that her body is weak. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not trying to put her down or anything or put you down or anything. But the point is that there's something getting in the system in her body that's creating a load. Now, you've heard me. I know we've talked to you before, so I know you've heard me say this a million times, but I'll say it again. There's only three ways loads can get into the body. Number one, intravenous. If you inject something, assuming she's not doing that. Number two, something could be breathed in, and that does happen occasionally. But for the most part, loads on the body that lead to exercise or stress-induced asthma have to be regarded as a food issue. Okay? The lungs are loaded with immune cells, as is the skin and as is the digestive system. And the immune system operates as a whole, monolithically. So if it gets activated in the digestive system, it's going to get activated in other places as well. So, Melody, how old's your daughter?
She's 13.
Okay, and I don't know your daughter, never met your daughter, and I'm not psychic, but I'm telling you with 100% certitude she's got some food problems, digestive issues, okay? And I've never met her, so how do I know this? Because this is how the body works. It's generic. We all have the same bodies. So if she's got asthma, if anybody has asthma, number one, you got to look to certain foods that are problematic and eliminate those foods. And number two, you got to start to strengthen up the immune system and the digestive system. Biolumin Nightly Essence probiotics are a must-have. By the way, do you notice that she's constipated or bloaty or gassy or crampy or anything?
No. And you actually helped us through her eczema. She had really bad eczema, and so we addressed all of that with the food issues. I'm wondering if she's lacking EFAs or something.
Yeah. That's all second. Let me get to that in a second here. But when you took care of her eczema, when we helped her with her eczema, did you eliminate foods and her eczema went away?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you eliminate?
The wheat. But once she got on her digestive enzymes and everything, she's been fine. She doesn't have any more eczema. So that's why I'm wondering if she's just not...
It could be. It could be both. It could be either or. So, kids don't like talking about their bowel movements or their digestive issues. So, you have to probe a little bit or just be observant. It's very difficult for somebody with eczema and asthma, that's screaming digestive issues. Okay? Because remember, the skin and the lungs and the digestive system are all part of the immune system, so it doesn't make sense that just the skin and just the lungs would be reactive and not the digestive system. You follow me?
Right.
Why would two immune system components be sensitized but not the digestive system? It doesn't make sense. So you got to look to the foods, especially if you notice that she had a problem with wheat. She probably has a problem with other grains. I call them the GLED foods. The most likely sensitizing foods are the GLED foods: grains, legumes, eggs, and dairy. Grains, legumes, eggs, and dairy. All grains, not just wheat, and not just gluten either. All grains, all flour, that kind of stuff. So that's number one. Number two, yes, you're absolutely correct. Using supplements to support the digestive system are a must. The Biolumin Nightly Essence is not optional, in my opinion. You should be on it right away, or everybody should be on it right away. The digestive enzymes, keep those going. Is she doing a little apple cider vinegar with them?
No.
Have her do a little bit of apple cider vinegar with all her meals. That alone can make a difference, but especially with the digestive enzymes that you're taking. Get her on the Fucoidan Z or the Z-Rat. Actually, the Fucoidan Z is a little bit better. 2 capsules in the morning, 2 capsules at night, and obviously she should be on the Healthy Start Pack. A couple other things that you might want to throw in. Vitamin C. She's going to get some in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, but she might want a little bit more. And something called NAC, which we talked about at the beginning of the program, NAC. How much does your daughter weigh, Melody?
About 80 pounds.
Give her 100 to 200 milligrams of NAC every day. Get her on the Ultimate Selenium as well. All of those have very nice beneficial effects for the lungs, as does the Ultimate EFAs. Have her taking 3 Ultimate EFAs with her meals every day, with the apple cider vinegar and with the digestive enzymes.
So 3 EFAs per meal or per day?
Per day.
Okay.
3, but with a meal. So she has all her digestive juices going and the digestive enzymes in the apple cider vinegar. Will you let me know how she's doing?
I will. Thanks so much.
God bless. Have a beautiful day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's go to Ronny in Texas. What's up, Ronny? Welcome to the bright side.
Hey, Ben.
Hey.
I've been dating a girl now for about a month, and she is suffering from severe esophagitis.
Oh, that
of course,
sucks.
the doctor's throwing every med in the book at it. And
What were they giving her? What are they giving her? Prednisone. Don't tell me
she's been
prednisone.
through. Yeah, but she went through the Prilosec.
Okay. All right. All right. She's got. We're going to run out of time here. So just for the listeners, esophagitis, itis. Whenever you hear itis, you're thinking of, you're referring to an inflammation. Esophagitis is obviously inflammation of the esophagus, and it's miserable. Absolutely miserable. No health challenges are good, but esophagitis is a miserable, miserable condition. It can be caused by excess stomach or by stomach acid backing up, not excess stomach acid. And this is why Prilosec is such a silly strategy, although for emergencies she may need it. It's usually caused by an activated stress response. Okay? Surprise, surprise. Usually that's pretty much what everything is an activated stress response. Something is getting into the system that's causing this activation of stress. She has to have other things going on. Does she have blood pressure issues, weight issues, diabetes, anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of.
You got to find those out because those are important.
Okay.
The esophagitis, as miserable as it is going to get all the attention, but she probably has some blood sugar issues going on, and she almost certainly has digestive issues going on. Number one, if she fasts, she won't have esophagitis. All right? No food, no esophagitis. That's first of all. Now, obviously, she has to eat, so you can't fast forever. But just to slow things down, to hit the reset button, a good 1 or 2 day fast would be great for her. Left untreated, esophagitis can be awful. It can damage the lining. It can cause cancer, scarring, all kinds of horrible things. So you really want to get to the bottom of this. Number one, we got to figure out what foods are associated with the splashing up of acid, and also bile, by the way. Number two, it could be gases that are formed in the intestine. Sometimes this happens. Anybody who has got heartburn issues, esophagitis issues, Barrett's esophagus, whatever, it could be gases that are fermenting in the digestive tract. Most especially, this comes from sugars and starches and dysbiosis, messed up gut bacteria. Get her on the bioluminescent essence right away. It can make a huge difference. Have her take 4 capsules in the morning, 4 capsules at night, 8 capsules of the bioluminescent essence. Use digestive enzymes with meals. If she can handle some apple cider vinegar, that might be helpful as well. She might not be able to handle it, but if she can, that would be helpful. If she can't, have her dilute it with some water. And then the Z-Radical would also be a good idea, not to mention the Healthy Start Pack. Always the Healthy Start Pack. Hope that helps. Call back tomorrow if you want more information. We're just flat out of time, Ronny. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll get you some more good health information tomorrow on The Bright Side. Have yourselves a spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.